How's it going, guys? So, patch notes dropped not too long ago, so I figured I'd sit down and kind of do a review of what I think about them. Was not a big fan of the last patch. With the soul sharing changes, it was just a little snowbally sometimes. I found that if the first 15 minutes were pretty even, then the games are still really good, but if maybe one of your lanes lost really bad and the other lanes went even, it was just 15-minute total stop, 50k souls ahead. So I'm hoping for some soul changes, but we'll take a look. So new version of matchmaker, great. Matchmaking pools are no longer split between normal and ranked. Interesting. My guess is that would mean that normal people queuing normally and people queuing ranked are going to be in the same games, but I don't care for that because typically the people who are queuing into ranked are doing so to play a little bit more of a serious game, and sometimes people queue into normal and they just want to try some wacky build or something. So that sounds kind of frustrating if that's what that is. I'm not a big fan of that. Badges are updating immediately. That's really nice. It made ranked not as much fun to play because I want to get that immediate feedback of how good I'm doing, and a lot of people were confused about, hey, I won 12 games, why didn't my rank change? So there will sometimes be monthly global maintenance updates that will readjust the global curve based on population, cheaters, etc. So yeah, it seems good. Seems a good change. Hero MMR is now used in Matchmaker. Each player will have a core MMR, and your MMR per hero will be offset of your core MMR. When you queue, you will match you based on your hero's MMR. If you are unfamiliar or play worse with a given hero, you will be put in an easier match than your usual. Judgment on your skill and familiarity with the hero will be based on 20 most recent games with that hero. Your profile, your UI shows you what the matchmaker thinks of your relative ranking for each hero. Okay, that's cool. My understanding from what I read on Reddit is that this was how it was before, where there was hero MMR, but this suggests that that wasn't the case, or maybe that was the case, but it wasn't used in Matchmaker. Either way, excellent change. Really nice to be able to sit down and play a new character. I think it should use somewhat of your core MMR, because if a brand new character comes out, I'm probably going to play them, about as well as I play other characters, just somewhat worse, but I think it's unfair to put someone who has 500 hours with someone who just started the game just because they're playing a new character. But great change. Big fan. Leaderboards are per region. There's a top 1,000 core MMR leaderboard as well as a top 1,000 hero MMR leaderboard for each hero, which is excellent. Very cool. Qualify for the leaderboards, you must have 50 games played in the last 30 days. For a specific hero, you must have played 20 games on that hero in the last 30 days. Yeah, cool. Individual hero leaderboards are awesome. Really great way to figure out who's good with your character and what they do that's different than you. You can queue as any party size, however, there's a few details. Skill range of your party is too wide, the amount of MMR you can gain will be reduced, but just fair. It's especially true if it's a player we don't know anything about. Very high MMR player queuing with a, quote, new player. Minimize the updates to the known player, sure. This is good. I sometimes there was that period where you couldn't queue with 5 people when there's a wide skill range, and that happened to me and my friends a few times. 5's kind of a weird number for us, but it did happen a couple times. Try to get a brand new player in because all of us are playing, but because they're brand new and all 4 of us have played, it doesn't let us queue together. So good change. Hopefully it also stops people from boosting accounts. That's what it sounds like. Previous limit on high MMR party sizes is increased from 2 to 3. This applies to Ascendant 1 and above. This is the old limit we had on disallowing too many high MMR players to be in the same party together for matchmaking quality reasons. Apparently it doesn't affect me because I never had that happen. Fine change? I don't know. Interesting. Given the update, no hour limits. This is for ranked. Previously, there's a set time you could play ranked. If we think the match quality is bad, like 5 a.m. games where there isn't a lot of players, we will weigh the match less heavily towards a rank update. Okay, good. I really don't like the mixing ranked and casual. That's tough. If you prefer playing only with solos, there is a Convar MMR prefers solo only you can use. Okay, so I guess you can prefer solo only players, which is fine. When queuing as a party, you will have an option to override the default balance-oriented lane assignment and make the system prioritize putting your party members in the same lanes. Yes, people are asking for this. Really annoying when you get into lane and there's a pause always because someone's like, hey, can you swap me? I want to lane with my buddy, which is totally fine. Everyone playing the game, if they want to lane with their friends, like, they should be able to do that. And also, if I'm playing as a solo and I want to solo lane, I should be able to do that. So, excellent. Added lane swap feature. During the rooftop and zipline phase at the start of the game, you can now request to swap lanes with your teammate by clicking a button below their portrait. If the other player accepts, you will immediately swap. This is excellent. The only time I've swapped lanes, if I'm playing with my friends, I don't necessarily need to lane with them or whatnot. It's kind of all the same to us. But there are times I've swapped for matchup, swapped a Paradox into a Vindicta lane because that's kind of nice for Paradox, or as Mo and Krill swapped off of a Haze lane. It'd be tough for Mo and Krill, so excellent choice. Excellent change. Option to notify you anytime your rank level's up. Oh, that's cute. General changes. Secondary keybinds. I'm sure that's great. Some people have keybind issues with, they have weird keybinds. My wife is that way. She has some weird keybinds from her peripherals, so some games just don't like her peripheral. Now able to browse favorite builds in the dashboard. Excellent change. I do that all the time for my videos. And I have to go into Sandbox. Sandbox now shows soul values of current item in your inventory. Also great. Ability tooltips now list exactly which items the ability has imbued. Also very good change. It's really annoying when I see an opponent with a superior cooldown. I'm like, well, what ability did they cooldown? Because if it's their ultimate, that means something very different than if it's their, 5-second damage ability. I mean, the shops that imbue abilities are tagged with a label. Cool, just more clarity. Commend toasts now stay on the screen until they're dismissed. Commend toasts now have a button to return to commend the player that commended you. That's kind of cute. It could be, you click out really fast and you get a bunch of commends. You're like, ah, shit, that 7 played really good. I should have commended them. Just the behavior of incoming damage UI, so it can still be used in sandbox mode. That UI is a little janky just in general. I would like a overhaul on that, but, baby steps. There's now a change hero button in the build browser, which brings up the hero picker to choose a different hero in both sandbox and in the dashboard. All right, not sure what that looks like. I never had a problem there. Quick buy. Decision dialogues for dealing with item limits, imbuing, and activation slots are now shown in a queue time rather than purchase time whenever possible. You can now queue items to sell. If you right-click on the items you own, it will add them to the front of your quick buy queue, and they will be queued to sell. The sale price of these items will be added to your current souls. All right. Yeah, so it sounds like you can just do quick sell now, which is cool. I haven't been using quick buy a lot, but I'm pretty quick at buying my items. I should probably use it more, honestly. But really nice, really good feature. Adjusted power-up runes designed to look more visually breakable due to a melee change. Okay. Low priority games now require wins to count. Oh, so that's my guess is that if you get flagged for like a chat ban or something like that, and you become low priority and you get into that undesirable queue, you need to win in that queue to get out of it. And if that's what that is, that rules. That's a really good and funny change. You can't just go into games and leave, which is, if you're the kind of player who ends up in these low priority queues, that might be the kind of thing that you would think to do to get back into regular queues. Gaining Rejuvenator buff now shows what stats have been improved by your heroes. Okay. Abrams camera, let's go. Icon variants for high and low ground for camps. Now, that's kind of neat. If you don't know where they are. Note below cancel key in the settings explains ability will be canceled with the cancel key when possible. Oh, that's kind of cool. I've had some abilities get canceled in a weird way. Maybe it would be nice if I could override to just only have the cancel button cancel. Purchase log in the shop now shows enemy and ally purchase with different colors. That was neat. You might not have even noticed that's there, but on the left side it shows you all the purchases. Fix F1 to F7 keys not working for moving camera to allies. I have a problem with that in Spectator because I use F2 as my Steam key. So maybe it does something for that, but I kind of doubt it. I probably just have to change that or deal with it. The active items to have uniform sliding cast delay behavior. Looks like they changed a bunch of cast delays and some things no longer interrupt sliding. I can't say I ever noticed that. Knockdown had a pretty big cast delay. This, you can feel the 0.25 seconds. But that's interesting. I never had my sliding interrupted, but I'm sure people had that problem. Through wall ally silhouette has health bars. Oh, the health bars are more accurate. Excellent. Lighting in the map. Great. Bug prompted to sell an item. If the component wasn't in the same category as the component you were buying. Interesting. Redundant replay keybinds. Not shares with spectating. Okay. A chat wheel is keybinds. Cool. That could be nice. Something I won't use, but... Mirage Fire Scarab projectile sound. Cool. Remaster weapon fire for 7 and Paradox. That's neat. Let's see. Bug, all sound stops and never returns. I've had that on Lash a few times. Respawn music queue failing. Music not playing while outside of base. Hey, smoke bomb loop not playing for teammates. Sounds could overpower anything else. That's interesting. I'm sure that's happened quite a few times. But because the game's in an alpha, you just kind of deal with all that stuff, and sometimes the patron just starts shouting over everything else that's happening. Update to Mirage Tornado bullet evasion buff. Visual update to Medical Spectre. I don't know, Medicinal Spectre. I don't know what that is. Update to... Oh, that's... I think that's McGinnis's healing. Update to Turret Tracers, Muzzle Flash, and Impacts. Sandblast revision to help judge distance. That's kind of nice. It's hard to know. Preview state to Flying Strike. Effect when the zipline ability first starts. AoE landing indicator. Units will be thrown with Death Slam. Only shows for allies. Very nice. Sometimes you're throwing with Death Slam. That's Lash's ult, and it gets stuck on a bridge or a piece of cover that you weren't expecting, and it causes a lot of problems. So hopefully that helps. Ground Strike preview cone. Great. More visual accuracy. Always good. Ooh, the patron voiceover has specific amber hand lines and sapphire flame lines. Cool. Oh, and they have a example here. While the sapphire flame might praise Haze by saying you are perfection, Haze, the amber hand would say Haze will dance and they will fall. Very cool. Related to the update above, both patrons will now call Greenwich Green Lane objectives specifically when they're destroyed. Okay. Bebop voiceover remaster pass added some content. Viscous voiceover, he now comments on a lot more interactions of the game. No longer a small use of reused lines for Goo Punch. Viscous do be saying the same thing over and over. I mean, you kind of learn to love it, but that'll be nice. Paradox voiceover. Kelvin voiceover. Stubbed in first pass voiceover for Fathom, Magician, Trapper, Viper. These are the test characters you can play. Primary goals for pings, but also lines for hero selects. Great. Holiday voiceover. Cool. I think, I don't know if they've said, but she seems pretty close to being able to be released. Rendering performance, light map quality, textures, rendering features. Right click on an item in the shop in build editing mode causes you to edit your quick buy. Oh yeah, sure. Porting, blah blah blah. Video settings, max slider. Yep, just a bunch of garbage. Bone Krill, Burrow Loop, sound. Cool. Okay, here we go. This is the good stuff. Miscellaneous gameplay. Soul sharing ratios post lane reduced from... So, it... the very original was 100 for one player, 50 for two, 33% for three. So it was even for each... everyone got the same even amount. If a minion was worth 100 souls, whether there was one person in that lane or 6 people in that lane, that minion was still worth 100 souls split up among everybody. The change I was very unhappy with that they've been playing with was, I believe they changed it so that 2 players would both receive 100% of the souls. So, and then of course this is after laning, so after 8 minutes. If you had 2 players in that lane, instead of that minion being worth 100 souls split up evenly, now both players would both get 100 souls, and it caused it to be really snowbally because you could team up really easily and push down objectives, and 2 players in a lane farming souls is better than 1 player split pushing or defending another lane, because instead of those minions being worth 100 souls for the single player and 100 souls split among the 2 players, it's going to, because of how the scaling works, the 2 players will get 100 souls each, so that minion is effectively worth 200 souls instead of just 100. So having 2 people just sitting in a lane pushing it down was making those 2 people stronger than 1 person defending. So if you got ahead and you could just group up and just push down buildings, there's nothing you could do to catch up. So those numbers have been changed. It's been 100, 70, 45, 33, and honestly I think the most indicative number here is the 2-player one. So they dialed it back. It's been dialed back further. So now it's 100, 60, 35, 25, 20. We'll see if that's enough. It's pretty close to what it was before, with it being 150. So we'll see. Great change. I'm super happy with it. We'll see how it plays. Hero kill souls decreased. So instead of getting 175 to 2,000 over a 45-minute game, you get 175 to 1,600. Probably won't notice that very much. Hero kills were never really worth that much souls anyway. I mean, compared to farming. I mean, obviously, it's if you go 17-0, you're going to get 1,000,000 souls, but seems fine. Walker Stomp now deals 10% max HP as damage. Excellent. I would like the buildings to be stronger overall. Right now, they're kind of made of tissue paper, and the Guardian can do some good damage too really early, but after about the 10, I mean, even the 8-minute mark, people can just kind of dive you under your structures, and they're not that amazing. Walker Laser now deals 2% max HP. Oh, also deals, so this is in addition to the regular damage. So this is basically more damage to tanks, which is awesome. Great change. Walkers now provide allied heroes bullet resistance. Super cool change that makes defending so much better. Instead, this last patch, there were times where there would be like 3 people on a walker, and it's like, we'll just give it to them. Like, it's so easy for them to kill it, and like we could try to defend underneath it, but it's just not. It's just kind of a nasty situation. But this is really nice. You can defend really aggressively. With this extra spirit resistance. I'm almost worried this is going to make it too hard to push, but we'll see. Walkers have resistance based on how many nearby enemies there are. Okay, so 0% for 1 player, and then 8% for every additional player. They are more tanky against a large attacking team. I saw this suggested on Reddit a few times. Seems interesting. I'm not sure exactly how this will play out. I guess it stops 4 people from running down your Guardian really early, but run down your Walker. This is not for Guardians. So we'll see. I think 4 people trying to take one of your Walkers at 10 minutes is going to be kind of tough. Middle lane Walker HP increased from 5,800 to 8,000. Side Walker HP is 5,175. Huh. I didn't know that. So the middle walkers are going to be almost twice as tanky as the side ones. That's interesting. I think they should change the model to reflect that. Otherwise, I didn't know they were different already. It's not a big difference, and now there's a big difference. Maybe you'll be able to tell, but they should make that more obvious. Patron Laser now deals 3% max HP DPS. That's excellent. Great change. Better against tanks. Flex slot change from all shrines to 1 shrine and 2 base guardians. Okay, so this is easier to get, but it used to just be 1 shrine. I don't know that I've played a lot of games. I don't know that I've been in a game where a shrine goes down without 2 base guardians being down. Like, I guess you can go in there and backdoor it, but I haven't seen that. I guess it's happening, but that seems fine. 2 shrines can be kind of annoying to get, but if if it is gettable, it kind of turns it into a let's run in their base and get both the shrines. Like, that's just the first thing you want to do. It's kind of the first thing you want to do anyway, but this is interesting. And maybe this will help people stop just sitting in there and dying in the base trying to end the game. Okay, mid-boss trooper health for the first spawn reduced. Mid-boss trooper health. Okay, I guess he's got trooper health. I'm not sure what that means. Mid-boss trooper health for first spawn. I guess that just means that the health of the boss for the first time he spawns is less. You can take him easier. Trooper spirit resist at 25 minutes reduced. Okay. And it still scales to 70%. So at 25 minutes, the trooper has 20% spirit resist as opposed to 30. Excuse me. But at 50 minutes, it still maxes out at 70, just to make him a little bit tankier against all these big AoE abilities. If you're a character who has an AoE ability and you're like scaling your spirit, you probably don't notice this very much if you're doing okay. But this is just to stop, if you're playing Viscous and you go a full bullet build, this stops your goo ball from being able to kill all the minions because you didn't invest into it, which is how it should be. Itchy nose. Respawn time curve changed from happening at 17 to 30 minutes for 40 to 70 seconds, respawn to 20 to 40 minutes. Okay, so the respawn timers, you will respawn faster, typically. They lowered the timers, more or less. That's how you should think about that. Yeah, fine change. I don't mind people getting back into the game a little bit sooner. You want it balanced so that the games end in a reasonable amount of time, kind of where you want it to, but also being dead kind of sucks. So it is kind of nice when you can spawn in a little bit faster. Trooper soul change from 60-40 in the kill orb to 65-35. So this is just, if you're bad at denying, you're happy with this change. If you're great at denying, you're unhappy with this change, but I don't have a problem with it. Being in lanes where the other person is playing a character who has a much higher velocity gun than you, and if they're really good at denying, it can be miserable. So I'm fine with that. It seems like a reasonable spot. Medic Trooper now has 3 charges of heal. Great. Fall off minimum range reduced. Not sure what that is, but okay. Air Dragon getting off a zipline increased from 20% to 25%. So this is just to stop you from grabbing a zipline and doing all sorts of crazy wall jumps and stuff, which is a little sad. Hopefully all that stuff is still viable because it makes the game very cool, but if it needs to go, it needs to go, sadly. Improve various issues with heavy melee versus dash parry when there's latency. Excellent. The melee parry system in this game is so cool when it works correctly, so let's keep it working correctly. Killing the first patron now causes any existing enemy hero respawns to be reduced by 20 seconds. However, it does not reduce the remaining respawn time to lower than 10 seconds. Okay, so you kill the first patron. If you have 30 seconds on your respawn, you're going to go down. You're going to lose 20 seconds on that to a minimum of 10. This just stops you from losing one team fight 40 minutes into the game and losing all your structures, and then you lose the game. That seems nice. Okay, power-ups now require a heavy melee to claim. Okay, power-ups, when it says power-ups, it means bridge buff. So the bridge buff needs a heavy melee. Interesting change. I'm fine with it. Power-ups now start weaker and grow stronger. Cool. From 10 to 40 minutes. So gun power-up was previously 20% fire rate and 40% ammo for 160 seconds. By the way, all these power-ups were huge. If you're not grabbing these bridge buffs, they're massive. Basically all of them except movement, which is good, but not exactly the other ones. So gun was 20% fire rate, 40% ammo. Now it scales from 10% fire rate, 30% ammo, and ends at 30% fire rate, 60% ammo. So it looks like they're, instead of it just being a medium strength the whole game, it starts weaker and gets stronger, which is excellent, especially for survival, which was 400 health and 1% max health regen just all the time. I mean, if you picked up survival buff at 10 minutes, you're unkillable. Every character. It's ridiculous. So it's gone. Now it's going to be 250 health and 1% max health regen to 700, 1.5% max health regen. And yeah, casting, 25 spirit power, 20% cooldown. It's 20 spirit power, 15% cooldown to 40 spirit power, 25% cooldown. Movement, 2 stam, 2 sprint, 30% stamina regen, 50% zipline. You get the idea. Yeah, cool, good change. We'll make those more impactful later. I mean, they've always been impactful. They're really, really good buffs, but I think this is nicer, and it makes survival way less good early because it was a monster. Earn time reveal increased. Okay, so you can hold on to the urn longer before you get revealed on the map. Sure. Initial earn bounty reduced from 4,050 to 3,000. Cool. That's great. The first urn was in these snowbally games. If you grab the first urn, it's a disaster to get the game back from that point. So yeah, I'm fine with that. Adding an alternate urn mechanic is an experiment for 2 days. This will be enabled this weekend only, and Monday will be back to normal. All right, well, I'll be playing. Urn pickup location is the same, but drop-off location is now always at the top of the mid-temple. The bonus souls the team gets is reduced by 60%. The delivering player reward is unchanged. The reveal time is now 40 seconds. Drop-off location is now always at the top of mid-temple. Oh, okay. This picture's something different. Okay, so this is on top of the building that looks like a Capitol building. I guess it's the mid-temple. And the player who delivers it's going to get a lot of souls, but the team is going to get a lot less. The thing I don't like about that is people are going to get shitty about who gets to hold the urn, which is dumb, but like sometimes you have to... And my job, you say you have to program the machine for the dumbest person who's going to be operating it. So you kind of have to design the game for the people who are a little bit more babies about stuff like this. If you have a team mechanic where let's get the team together to do this objective, if you start letting one person get a big bonus from it, people are going to start being a little shittier about it. In my experience, I hope that doesn't happen, but easy come, easy go. So I don't like that. It's a 2-day experiment. So whatever they want to do, I love stuff like this. For alpha, go nuts. Do something crazy. Have a shitty patch for a week that doesn't make me want to play and do YouTube videos, but try a thing out. I'm all for it. So we'll see. I don't know. I'm gonna try to run the urn a lot, I guess. It's a kind of a cool location. I wonder what they mean by top of mid-temple, if it's gonna be up by those 2 big camps, or if it means like on the roof. And if you haven't been on the roof, you probably don't play Lash, but some creative ways to get up there. We'll see. Move rooftop neutral camp on amber spawn and circle purple. Yeah, they moved this. This is where I always expect the camp to be, which is kind of funny. I've gone up here a few times and been like, where's the camp? And oh shit, it's over here. So that's fine. Trump to climb up on the interior bridge area at the Port Authority and Jazz Club buildings. Let's view the attachment. We will not be viewing the attachment. Who knows? Move stairs from Central Canal to radio station. I don't know where any of these places are. Move stairs to radio station. I'm going to be sad when these changes stop happening because I love going into the map and things being crazy different. So, ooh, log into Deadlock. Come on. What if I open image in new tab? Let's get in there. Man, look at that quality. All right. York, so yellow lane, Greenwich. This is green. We're in the middle. Here's the canal. The shop over at York with the Guardian. Okay. So what did they change here? You used to run in here and there would be 2 tunnels. One went underneath and then one would go over to the nursery section. Does this still go down to the teleporter? And then this goes down to canal and there's no way out here to the nursery? Is what it looks like? That'll be interesting. I get so... Son of a bitch. I get so confused in this little building still, so... I'm looking forward to get more confused. Change entrance to the army warehouse. Be more direct. Oh yeah, so this used to be a long hallway. They just chopped it up. I love fighting in this room. This room's so cool. There's so many little boxes and stuff. Removed bookshelf. Oh yeah, sure. A little bit easier to get up in here. Oh, remove the rope. Okay, so now practice your wall jumps here. That's going to be important. That's very cool. I like the dynamic with this bridge, and there's the camp over there now. So that's interesting that there's no rope there. I hope that's interesting. Interior stair. And this is a whole new game where I get to open these images and try to visualize what's going on. Alright, so here's the walker. This is base. So the camps used to be here. Then they moved them. This is the rooftop camp. This is the big camp in the armory. This is what's changed. Okay, so this used to be, there was a little camp here, and then you could come out this way and go to green. So they chopped up this hallway and added in this room. I think that's what this is. Yeah, there's no other place for that hallway to go now, and there's some stairs here. Alright, neat. I'm sure they have a good reason for doing that. It'll be cool. They could do this every week, and I would be stoked for it. It's so interesting. Statue gate. Zapper effect to antenna modules. That's nice. Alright. More good stuff. Heal, anti-heal, rebalance. Below is a group of changes bundled together that pairs reduced sustainabilities and items as well as anti-heal mechanics by some percentage. Some things less than others depending on the specific circumstances. So, Abrams is Infernal Resilience, which is just his healing from his damage he takes. Reduced from 14 to 11. And tier 3 from 7% to 5.5%, okay? Siphon Life is where he can just heal from hitting things. Was also reduced. 100 to 75, 50 to 40. Yeah, good change. Abrams is really, really strong this patch. I don't mind him being a little less tanky. They didn't touch his damage or anything, so we'll see. Oh, as far as we know. Bebop, Hyper Beam. Tier 3 reduced from 100% to 33% for heroes and creeps. Okay, so it was 100% for heroes. Now it's 80%. It was 33% for creeps to 25%. Yeah, that could be really, really oppressive. Where Bebop just gets tier 3 hyper beam and just sits there hyper beaming your whole team and you just can't kill him. So I'm happy with that change. Even with healing reduction, sometimes he was just impossible to kill. Dynamo, his rejuvenating aura was reduced. 32 to 30. Spirit power scaling reduced. 0.5 to 0.45. Rejuvenating aura tier 3 reduced. 3.8 to 3.4. I don't feel like he healed too much, but if they're just taking things down overall, I'm fine with that. Great Talon, Rain of Arrows tier 3 reduced. 50% to 40%. Also fine. I didn't really feel like that was too much of a problem. When he's... I mean, I guess, kind of, if he's up there, some heroes just can't interact with him. But if you are a character that can't interact with him, you know, Lash ults him down, or Yamato grabs him and knocks him down or something, he kind of folds anyway. So if that's a way to try to make him more interactable for someone like Geist, who you can shoot him with your gun, but you can't, and your abilities can be kind of tough to use on him, I'm all for it. That's fine. Great Talon is a little oppressive. Infernus, oh no. Catalyst tier 2 reduced from 15% lifesteal to 12% lifesteal. And tier 3 reduced from 40% health degen to 33%. That's on his burning. Yeah, that's fine. It's not that much lifesteal. He was also pretty good. Concussive combustion tier 3 reduced from 100% to 85%. Yeah, his ult wasn't really what made him strong anyway, so that'll be fine. Not a big deal. Ivy, Watcher's Covenant bullet lifesteal. So I think that's her leash, and you give bullet lifesteal to you and the person you're leashed to. Stone form max health heal reduced. That's excellent. She was healing a lot from that. I don't think she was too strong, but I don't play Ivy, so that's fine. And then Stone form tier 3 heal reduced from 20% to 16%, or plus 20 to plus 16. So before it would be 30% at tier 3. Now it's going to be 24%. It's a pretty big pretty big change, but stone form can be really hard to deal with when she got really big, so that's fine. It kind of depends what they want stone form to be. If they want it to be a big stun and like big damage, that's hard to land. It's kind of where it is now. If they want it to be big healing, maybe they should have touched damage, but Kelvin Frost Grenade heal reduced from 125 to 100. Frozen Shelter regen 120 to 110. Frozen Shelter tier 3 plus 70 1.6 spear power to plus 60 1.4 spear power. Yeah, he could be impossible to kill in his shelter, but this is percentage points you probably won't notice. Lash Flog heal when reduced 5% from heroes and creeps down. I don't feel like he healed that much from Flog. Maybe a little bit in lane, but that's fine. It looks like they're just taking down all the sustain. So if they're doing it across the board, that's, it should be even more or less, right? Medical Spectre on McGinnis reduced by 0.5%. Mo and Krill's Scorn heal. So on heroes, it would do 2x the damage. Now it's 1.6. Creeps from 1.7 to 0.7 to 0.6. That'll be tough for him in lane. Affliction healing reduction reduced from 60% to 50%. That's very nice. I don't like to see pocket nerfs because I think he's really, he's pretty hard and the skill expression on him is really cool, but they're doing it to everyone. Warden, Last Stand, non-hero lifesteal reduced from 50% to 20%. Awesome. Last Stand hero lifesteal reduced from 100% to 80%. Cool. This is going to help in the edge cases where he's really should die, but he doesn't. But if he uses Last Stand, you shouldn't fight him still because he will still kill you and not take any damage, which is fine. That's what the ability does. Wraith, full auto tier 3 lifesteal reduced by 5%. Fine. Viscous, the cube, regen reduced from 40 to 35. Tier 2 regen, plus 35 to plus 30. Regen spirit power scaling from 0.2 to 0.18. It's basically nothing, you won't notice it. Shiv, bloodletting reduced. That's fair. 22% to 20%, and then tier 1 is plus, instead of plus 8, it's plus 6. So tier 1, it'll be, instead of 30%, it will be 26%, which is, legitimate. And then bloodletting rage bonus. So when you're in your rage, your bloodletting's even better. Instead of plus 15, it's going to be plus 14. Totally good and fine. Reasonable. A lot of people don't like bloodletting, and I get that. It's kind of an not interactive ability. And when you're fighting Shiv, sometimes it feels like you're not doing as much damage as you actually are. And maybe I'm a little biased because I like Shiv, but I think it's fine. This is a good change. Soul Shredder Bullet, Spirit Lifesteal reduced. Active Reload Bullet Lifesteal reduced. Yeah, it looks like they hit everything that has some healing on it. Headhunter, Heroic Aura has Lifesteal. Toxic Bullets, healing reduction. Okay, so let's take this in 2 chunks because all the healing has been reduced by, now 2 to 10 or 2%, 1% depends. Vampiric Burst went from 100% to 80%, but you didn't see that item too much. And 80 is going to feel like 100 would be my bet. Toxic Bullet healing reduction from 65 to 50. That's a pretty big hit. The other one I would like to see, Healbane, 45 to 40. Interesting. So Toxic Bullets got hit more than Healbane. And then Decay took a big hit of 15% as well. All the lifesteal from everything else, you lost 2 to 3%, not a big deal. So I feel like Toxic Bullets was already kind of tough. It's getting it on some characters is just not viable. If you don't have a big machine gun, it's really hard to get the stacks. But even if you are a character with a big machine gun, like McGinnis, for example, it can be hard to get the Toxic Bullets bleed going to get the reduction. And the whole time you're trying to build that up, they're lifestealing off you. So it's a little slow. I don't know. I feel like this makes Healbane more... It's always been the go-to. It's cheaper. Everyone's abilities are typically up often enough that you can keep Healbane up. So I'll be interested to see how much more Healbane gets taken over Toxic Bullets, and I already thought it was taken a lot more. Also, Decay is much less of a... This 70%, if you're playing a character who relies on healing and you get decayed, in lane, it feels so bad. So, this is interesting. Okay. Weapon items. Rapid rounds. Fire rate increase. Fine. Monster rounds bonus health got reduced by 20 points. You won't notice. Berserker weapon damage per stack got increased, so Berserker got better. That's a buff for Abrams. He picks that up a lot. Shiv does as well sometimes. It stacks 10 times, so that's going to be, instead of 50% weapon damage, you're going to get 60% weapon damage. That feels pretty significant. Soul Shredder Bullet, Spirit Amp reduced. Okay. From 10 to 8. Headhunter, headshot bonus damage reduction reduced from 140 to 130. That's fair. Headhunter is extremely good. Heroic Aura. Cooldown reduced from 25 to 20. That's a McGinnis buff. Excellent item on her. I think Heroic Aura is great on a lot of characters. It just, I think more people should be buying it. It gives a ton of lifesteal, a huge fire rate increase for your whole team. So interesting. That's a good buff. Alchemist Fire. DPS burn lingers on targets for 1 second. I've been seeing more Alchemist Fire. I haven't used it myself. I should. I'm not sure how good it actually is. Hunter's Aura. Fire rate slow reduced from 10 to 9%. And that's tripled if there's one target. So you lose 3% on a single target. Hunter's Aura is still fine. I wouldn't let this change your mind about it. New tier 3 weapon item. All right. Spell Slinger. So it's called Spell Slinger? Oh no, it's called Spell Slinger Headshots and requires Soul Shredder Bullets. Landing a headshot at enemy heroes increases your spirit power by 3% for 12 seconds. Cooldown 1.5. Max stacks 12. Grants weapon damage, Spirit Amp, and Spirit Lifesteal. Okay. The cooldown on this is 1.5 seconds. So it stacks 12 times, but it's a long time to get those stacks. I mean, it's percentage of spirit power, though. I would have to see how much that actually is. Seems like it could be good on Infernus. Possibly Mirage. But we'll see. It seems kind of tough to stack. Glass Cannon now requires slowing bullets and grants the slow passive. Oh, that rules. Glass Cannon just got a lot better. Silencer reworked. Passively builds up on enemies, silencing for 2 seconds and reducing spear damage output by 40% for 4 seconds. Enemies affected cannot be affected again for 12 seconds. Okay. So, interesting. I wonder how long it takes to build up. Build up is a bit slower than Toxic Bullets. Okay. This feels like a huge nerf for Hayes, who... I think that's the only person I ever really saw buying Silencer. The build-up being slower than Toxic Bullets that's pretty slow. So we'll see, but I think that's gonna be a tough item for her to buy now. Lucky Shot damage multiplier increased. Also grants bullet shield. So Lucky Shot, there was a bug with it for a while where it was giving you. So imagine your gun does 100 damage, and then through other items you have 100% weapon increase. You would deal 200 damage. The way Lucky Shot was working before is it had a damage multiplier. So again, for simplicity, let's say it was 100%. Before, it would take, at the end of that calculation for damage, so that 200 damage, it would stick 100% on it and double it. 400 damage, awesome. The last patch broke it, fixed it, not sure. So instead you would have 100 damage, but then your weapon damage would get added with Lucky Shot instead of multiplied after. So you would get 200% weapon damage from this Lucky Shot, which would give you a total of 300 damage. So you would lose 25% of your damage at the tail end of it. Don't know if they changed that. Don't know if that's what this increase is it's working as intended, but they want to buff it. So be careful of that item. We're not sure if it's working correctly or is good. Vitality. Melee lifesteal now grants 3% bullet resist. I thought this item was already really good on the characters who used it, so even better item now. Reactive barrier got worse. I don't like that. I think you should be rewarded for buying situational items like that, but fine. Return fire requires extra regen. Interesting. That makes it cost more just in general, so a nerf for return fire, but okay, fine. Debuff reducer. Debuff resist has been reduced. They reduced the reducer, but they gave it more weapon damage. Alright, it's percentage points. Divine Barrier has 8% ability range again. Oh, my buddy will be so stoked on that. He loved the ability range on it. He took it off his Paradox build for that reason. Divine Barrier no longer grants +1 spirit. Ah, unbuyable. Garbage. Healing Nova no longer has ability range. He's gonna remove Healing Nova from his build and put Divine Barrier back. That's so funny. This change probably means like nothing to most people, and he's gonna be pogged out of his gourd for it. Heal baiting duration increased. Cool. Debuff remover. Active buff duration on purge increased. Okay. Not sure exactly what that is, but cool. Purging a debuff now heals you. That's cool. Oh yeah, you get a buff if you remove a debuff with it. Gotcha. But you also get a big heal. This item is great. I wish there felt like more times where it was good to buy. It's really, really good to get buy against Pocket. It's good to buy against a Fed and Furnace as well. So, great. Big fan. Healed Rescue Beam. Love this item. Healing reduced. Fair. Ability range. We're going to get some cool support builds. Some really cool Viscous, Paradox. They're going to love this. Cooldown increased. That's fair. Very fair. Pool speed reduced. Also fair. But the pools are cool. So, I hope this feels okay, because rescuing someone with the beam is so cool. Metal Skin reduces your move speed. I like that change. I like Metal Skin a lot. It is a little obnoxious when you're playing Haze and that's all you have. So I'm okay with this. Superior Stamina gives you base health. Now increases wall jump count by 1 as well. Oh man, I want to be buying this just to do wall jumps. There's going to be some cracked Lash players out there who are already not touching the ground, who are never touching the ground ever again. Majestic Leap gives Spirit Resist. Cool. Majestic Leap, after the nerf to its cooldown, kind of feels a little crappy. Just, it has got a really, really long cooldown, but before it was obnoxious. You had pockets you could never kill. So that's interesting. Phantom Strike. Cast range now absorbs the Z height. Very sick. So, I would buy this on Mo and Krill because it basically lets you blink on top of people. But what this is saying is that it now has infinite range up. So this is me playing Mo and Krill and getting on top of Vindicta and Grey Talon. I love that. Spirit items. What else? Oh man, we got... strap in, boys. Alright, spirit items. Ammo, Scavenger. While max stacks, you get +2 spirit. Okay, that was kind of hard to do, so that probably won't matter. Infuser, cooldown reduced. That seems fine. Infuser's a really cool item to get in lane if you want to be aggressive, so I don't mind that. Decay, healing reduction reduced. We already knew that. Damage increased. Interesting. Decay does a pretty good amount of damage based on their life, so I like it. Withering Whip cooldown reduced. Cool. Improved Spirit. So more health on it. Okay. Silence Glyph, no longer a tracking projectile using a unit target. Releases an aim-based projectile. Ooh, you gotta aim it now? Oh no, I'm never buying Silence Glyph again. I suck too bad. They reduced the cooldown. Alright, I'll try it, but people are not going to be silenced the same way I used to be silencing them. Ethereal Shift now grants +20 spirit power. Love this item. Buy this item more. It's great. If you're a squishy character or you're getting focused, this item rules. Rapid Recharge. Time between charges reduced. Time between Yeah, so this makes the item worse. That's fine. It's really cool if you have a charge ability and they are balanced around the fact that you could buy rapid recharge and you have a bunch of charges on them. So that's fun, but it is what it is. Knockdown ignores Z height. To be honest with you, I already thought it was doing that. Knockdown is a crazy range, but super good change. Very bad for Vindicta and Grey Talon players and Lash players, I guess, a little bit. Knockdown rules. Love this change. Mystic Slow grants +1 Spirit. Okay. And a little bit more health increase. Sure, I don't think they needed the buff Mystic Slow, but Torment Pulse gives 15% melee resistance. I love this item on Mo and Krill. Abrams to a lesser extent. Viscus can buy this item as well. So, yeah, I'm glad to see a buff on that. I think it's a good item. I think now it's a great item. If a little situational. New tier 3 spirit item called Spirit Snatch. Requires Spirit Strike, which is the punching one. Causes your melee attacks to steal 12% spirit resist, 26 spirit power for 16 seconds. Yikes. Cooldown 6 seconds. Buff you receive stacks if you hit different heroes. Oh man. That's awesome. So I think Viscus was really strong in the last patch. This is a crazy item on Viscus because your big Goofus counts as a punch. This is gonna make you so tanky to Spirit. 26 Spirit power. Off the top of my head, that feels like a lot. I don't know the numbers exactly. This item sounds amazing. Looks like they got it off the forums, which is, you love to see that from devs actually reading these forums, reading this, the feedback and people coming up with good ideas. This is a nasty item. All right, new tier 3 item, Arcane Surge, requires Kinetic Dash, which is interesting because Kinetic Dash is a weapon item, so that's cool. After a successful dash jump, the next ability used will have 20% range, 20% duration, 20% spirit power. Holy, that is so cool. Viscus is going to be a nightmare. You might be getting some Viscus videos from me because these changes seem ridiculous for them. You kinetic dash, you arcane surge before you do goo ball, and then you get the range, which makes it bigger, the duration, which makes it last longer. You do this before a paradox bomb. I mean, there's so many things this is so good on. This is just like I forget what they call it. I thought it was called Arcane Surge, but this is just incepting my mind. There's something that already kind of does this. When you use an ability, you get a buff. This seems good. Diviner's Kevlar no longer grants Spirit Lifesteal. Damn. Now grants ability duration. I was picking up Diviner's Kevlar on Shiv, mostly for the cooldown, but also it's got a lot of other good stuff on it. This is not good on Shiv anymore so much. That's a tough loss. Maybe it's still buyable. I'm not thinking how good the duration is, but we'll see. Echo Shard cast delay reduce. Cool, so you can just Echo Shard faster. Mystic Reverb damage increase. That already felt like a really good item, but I don't think this makes it busted. Makes it better. I like buying it. Refresher cooldown increase. Yeah, that's fair. Refresher is like the coolest item that's super unfun to play against when they just like ult, refresh, ult, and just totally fuck you up. So, alright, heroes. Base regen, or Abrams base regen increased 1 to 1.5. So we saw he lost some of this on some of his abilities. So that's probably fair. Siphon life range now scales with spirit power. Siphon life damage now scales with spirit power. Or no, damage scaling increased from 0.4 to 0.5. Seismic impact drag down collision improved a bit. So these are buffs to Abrams, but he received a bunch of nerfs to the healing on his stuff, which is kind of the sweeping changes. He'll still probably be plenty strong. Bebop, exploding uppercut tier 2 bonus now applies to melee damage 2. Alright. We're going to have to look up what that is because that might be his disarm. Okay, that's on uppercut. Enemy hero. Gain fast spin up time, 2x range, and 60% weapon damage. Okay. Where's the disarm? Oh, the disarm's on his bombs. I'm dumb. Okay. That seems pretty good. And there's no cooldown on this, so that seems pretty crazy. Gun Bebop might be really good. We'll see. Hook can now be canceled by allies. Interesting. Yeah, sometimes you get hooked, but the hook is so fast. I'm not cracked enough for that to matter to me, I don't think. But I like that it's an option. Dynamo. Kinetic Pulse now slides around geometry when it hits an obstruction. Okay, that move can be a little wonky as someone who doesn't play Dynamo, so I like that. Quantum Singularity. Pulling allies no longer cancels their channel. Interesting, so you can grab a Bebop who's ulting and they'll keep doing lasers. Hasn't happened to me, but I'm sure that can be annoying. Sometimes things like this can be a little not like trolly to your teammates. Like a grief ability almost. Even when you're not trying to. Rejuvenating Aura now allows you to reload during it. Okay. Currently only allows you to continue reloading if cast before. Oh, so you need to reload then rejuvenate, but if you rejuvenated then try to reload, it wouldn't work. Great change. Good quality of life. Quantum Entanglement now is a visual indicator for allies that will teleport. Sure. Wait, oh, Quantum Singularities is ult. Okay, so if you're a Bebop channeling, you get ulted. You're gonna keep channeling. Interesting. Quantum Entanglement is the one where he turns into an orb and flies away. Very interesting. Probably a fair change. It kind of feels bad when he ults and like wins the game, but as a Dynamo, that's really cool and it's super easy. Oh, easy. It's play aroundable. Like you can play around a Dynamo, so I like this ability being strong, but pulling allies. This is why we're here. We're gonna come here. We're gonna type in Dynamo Deadlock. Because I don't think his ult can pull allies. This is not the same, but Quantum Entanglement is his little flying. Quantum Singularity is this, yeah. This could interrupt allies channeling? I think that was just kind of like a bug or something. Unless this is a patch notes issue where this should say Quantum Entanglement, because the ability isn't called Entanglement, it's called Singularity. So I'm going to assume this means Quantum Entanglement. Entanglement now is a visual indicator. Great. Ally range increased. Cooldown increased. Tier 3 cooldown reduction improved. Okay, nice. So it'll be the same at Tier 3. Rejuvenating Aura allows you to use a melee before the Tier 3 upgrade. Alright, cool. You can punch. That's fine. Grey Talon bullet damage increased. Health growth per boon. Okay, he's going to be a little tankier. Ugh. Immobilizing Trap now tethers targets rather than rooting them. Okay, that's a nerf. Rooting does still suck, though. Tether duration increased. No longer applies a slow. Okay. Slow now starts immediately for 30% and lasts until 2 seconds after the tether ends. Okay, so they changed the slow. You get a 30% slow on it. Instead of it applying after the fact, it happens when they're tethered, 30%, and that lasts 2 seconds after the tether ends. Trap Tier 2 changed from +2 slow to +1 second tether. Okay, so tether's longer. Radius increased. Tier 1 cooldown improved. Okay, so they changed his trap to be more like Vindicta. That's probably fair. It's a nerf overall, in my opinion. But being trapped by Grey Talon is just like, put down your mouse, you're dead. So I don't mind this change. It adds a little bit more counterplay. Owl camera now returns more quickly when the owl collides very far away. Okay. I don't know if I've ever noticed that be a problem, but Fix bullet dance, sometimes freezing your client. We love to see stuff like that. Having half the team crash because some ability. Haze using items during smoke bomb no longer breaks invisibility. Very cool. I'm not sure about the applications for that. Off the top of my head, knockdown seems pretty cool. You can knock down someone, you don't know where you get knocked down from. They're on top of you with, yeah. Interesting. Smoke bomb cooldown reduced. 37 seconds to 30 seconds. Smoke bomb tier 1 changed from minus 16 or 14 seconds to plus 6 invis sprint speed. You already know. Once we got a little deeper into some of this stuff, I don't know it off the top of my head very well. Okay, so that's what I assumed. It was 14 minus cooldown. So now you get faster. Faster sooner. In tier 2, instead of getting faster, you get bullet lifesteal, which is pretty nice, but it's only for 8 seconds. So you kind of... I mean, I guess it's better if you're fighting with it, but if you're trying to ambush someone, this might be gone by the time you come out of invis. Bullet lifesteal for 8 seconds. Oh, this is from... So you used to get bullet lifesteal for 8 seconds on phase out. To phase out on cast and enable charges with 10-second cast time. Oh, okay. This is very sick. So, phasing out means that you're invincible, essentially, for 0.5 seconds on cast. If you've played World of Warcraft or HOTS, rogues have Cloak of Shadows, which is like 0.5 seconds of CC invulnerability, it's a very cool ability, but kind of tough to use. This will be a very big skill testing thing on Haze now. I love that. And you can get charges with it to buy. You have to buy the charges, but seems super strong. Super cool, interesting change. I like that. It's on tier 3, so it'll probably come up late, but I think it's cool. Fixation damage versus objects reduced. Or objectives. So she just kills things a little less fast. That's fair. Bullet dance bonus damage changed from plus 5 bullet damage to plus 6 spirit damage with spirit scaling. Haze bullet dance tier 1 changed to plus 6 spirit damage. Okay. So I think this is just changing her ultimate to straight spirit damage, which changes the character entirely. Before the build, and I'm not a Haze main by any means, before the build was basically buying a bunch of bullet damage, and then you could buy Ricochet and your ult did 1,000,000 damage, and you would somewhat see, I think some of the better Haze builds honestly were more single target damage focused, where you could still ult, but you were more interested in running around and shooting with your guns, because she could kill someone really quick. This has changed it to, if you want to build bullet dance, you have to build spirit. I don't think it does bullet damage anymore. Maybe I'm reading that wrong, and it does bullet damage plus spirit damage, and this just diversifies her damage, because it still says fire with your weapon, but we'll see. That could... I'll have to test that. Very interesting. In Furnace, after build burn up decay time is now 15% slower. If that means it takes longer to start decaying burn build up, that's great for Infernus. It can be a struggle to get someone burned in lane if they know how to play around you. Combustion radius increased. Fine. Tier 2 radius reduced. This is a nothing burger. If you play Infernus, you know that his ultimate's like... It's not the reason you play the character. It can be good and it can do some flashy things sometimes, but yeah, this doesn't change too much. Stone form drag down collision improved a bit. Okay. Yeah, every time you improve collision or hitboxes, we love it. IV bullet damage increase 5 to 5.2. Bullet damage growth reduced from 0.36 to 0.34. So she's stronger earlier, but Later, it's probably the same, would be my guess. Fix being launched incorrectly when using stone form on certain geometry. You can see clips of this where you shoot stone form on this like weird chimney thing and get launched across the map. It was cool, but yeah, it can't be in the game. Fix stone form having a brief period of vulnerability after cast. I don't play Ivy that much, so I didn't know that. Airdrop flight controls improved. That's fair. A little clunky. Duration reduced from 17 to 16 seconds. Cooldown increased from 85 to 90 seconds. Speed can now be increased with move speed or spirit or sprint items when out of combat. And airdrop now applies spirit values by 1.5. Ooh. So she used to be really annoying where she'd fly around basically 100% of the time. Now she's going to fly around a little bit less, but like way faster and do way more damage. Ivy's going to be really cool and fun to play, I think. And really obnoxious to play against. By knockdown. Kelvin. Seismic impact death. Kelvin. This is Lash. Yeah. Seismic impact death slam and ground strike now. Oh no! Okay, this is Kelvin. It smashes through his ice path. That's cool. His ice path can be really, really obnoxious. This is like a little change, so whatever. I don't think it matters that some Lash mains are going to be like, this is super cool, and like one guy who plays Kelvin will be like, no, my strategy. Lady Geist, Essence Bomb, Spirit damage, scaling reduced. That's great. Just do a little bit more damage to herself. It's the scaling, though. The time when it really matters is early game, where the scaling doesn't matter as much, so neither here nor there. Ground Strike, Drag Down, Collision improved. So if you ground strike a Flying Vindicta, you're supposed to be able to drag her to the ground. It can be a little hard to do, so they improved it. Great. Alright, McGinnis feels terrible to play against. Let's see what they did. Bullet velocity increased. I'm okay with that. Everyone can have better bullet velocity because bullet velocity determining who wins lane feels really bad. Fixed wall triggering reactive barrier before tier 3 stun. Okay. Mini turret's health no longer scales with your hero's health. Okay. Spirit resistance reduced from 70% to 30%. Base health increased from 75 to 150. Roughly same overall health as previous start. Many turrets now gain plus 20 health per boon. Okay. I wonder how the numbers work out there. I need to see a graph. Many turrets now take at most 33% of their max HP per second from any damage source. Any excess damage is now moved to the following second. In effect, that means the turrets always live at least 3 seconds. Okay. Fix mini turrets dying, causing you to lose spirit. Cool. Mini turret cycle time reduced from 0.5 to 0.25. Not sure what that is, but okay. Bullet velocity increased. So, the turrets will always live 3 seconds. But they're a lot easier to kill for the characters who had a hard time killing them. I assume they've tested this. Man, I don't know. It feels bad, guys. It feels like they're gonna be really hard to kill still. So this makes it better for the characters who had a hard time killing them. So if I'm playing Lady Geist and I have a spirit build and my gun sucks, I'm gonna be able to kill him faster, which is great. But no one's going to be able to kill him faster than 3 seconds, so maybe this is the sweet spot. It's nice that McGinnis can put down a turret and have it like do something, because if you're playing McGinnis and the enemy team knows and like just shoots your turrets down and you're the turret build, it sucks. But when your team doesn't know to shoot the McGinnis turrets, I hope you got a good sound of my dog getting up there. If they don't know to kill the McGinnis turrets, then this is miserable. Trying to kill them all yourself and knowing that they're gonna die in 3 seconds, so you stop shooting. So like you do all the damage up front. It's gonna kind of have the Shiv problem, I think. I'm worried about this. We'll see. Mirage tornado speed reduced by 10%. Okay, that's fine. Fixed tornado being unusable while immobilized. Okay. Tornado and Fire Scarab ability slots swapped. So this is correct, and they were kind of in weird slots. one of those characters where you go play him and you're like, the movement ability's on the wrong ability. But this is going to ruin some people's muscle memory for a week. It'll be funny for a week. Travel cooldown increased. That's all. That's fair. Tier 2 increased. So after Tier 2, it's going to be back to where it was. Can now cast by targeting the top bar portraits. So big for Mirage. It sucks. If you've ever played Mirage, you're trying to travel or out and you're trying to click on the little shitty mini-map icons. Now you can just click on the person at the top. Great change for Mirage. Mo and Krill. Headshot resistance now only applies to the big head. Fair. Okay, fair. Burrow can now go under the spectral wall. Yes! Very cool. Combo now pulls target closer to you over time. Interesting. There are times where you combo someone but they fall and then it's kind of a weird spot for the teammate and stuff, so I wonder how that's going to affect that. Combo health gain increased from 30 to 70. 30 was not very much, but this does get applied or increased by your percentages from your big green items, so Mo and Krill's getting tanky. Sandblast duration reduced. Yeah, Sandblast is a big pain in the ass to deal with for the enemy team. That's fair. And slow reduced. So 3.5 seconds and the duration to 3 seconds. And then the slow is 50% to 40%. Great changes for Mo and Krill. A little bit buff. The combo health buff is going to be pretty nice, I think. And then the Sandblast, that's fair. The Paradox. Fixed kinetic carbine, not proccing headshot effects. Okay. Wonder if that was how often that was. Swap time min-max increased to help with camera. So the min-max was increased by 0.2 to /0.3 seconds. I was told this was felt really fast on the new patch, so maybe this helps a little bit more. Time Wall now deals 50 damage for going through it. Did it always deal... I mean, it always dealt damage for going through it. Come on, baby. Time Wall. Okay. So now it deals a flat value, but also this 10% max health damage. Great change. Scary. Going through this wall is scary against the Paradox. I would not recommend it. 7. Storm Cloud now causes you to levitate up and down a little bit in a cycle. Okay. This is his ultimate ability. And then the expand time was reduced. That's fine. This ability needs a buff. It's not very good. If you're playing 7, you should probably never use this ability except you're farming camps. If it's, November 21st. It might get better later, but this is a cool change. Serrated Knives. Shiv. Cooldown reduced. 19 to 16 seconds. Cool. Serrated Knives can now capture souls. That's the coolest change ever. It basically doesn't matter because the shotgun's already really good at it, but it's very cool if you're reloading or something. Slice and Dice. This is his dash. Base damage increased. Okay. From 105 to 110. Tier 2. Reduced from 75 to 70. So at tier 2 it's going to be the same damage, but at tier 1 it'll do a little bit more. Cooldown got reduced by 1 second, but at tier 1 the reduction is caused from -4 to -6. So effectively this is no change, just a buff to his kind of early game, which is he does struggle. Killing blow threshold increased from 20% to 22%. It's not the change I really want to see. I want a different buff, but we'll see. Killing Blow Tier 2 reduced from +8 to +6. So this is the same as his other ones, just making him stronger early, but the same later. Full Rage damage bonus increased from 15% to 17%. Tier 2 reduced from... Killing Blow Tier 2 reduced from 10%. Full Rage bonus, same change. Better early, same late. Fix an issue where using serrated knives and immediately holding mouse 1 after to shoot, not firing your gun. I swear I've had that happen, but maybe I'm just bad. Killing Blow Rage per spirit damage increased. Killing Blow Rage per spirit damage. This is his ultimate. Okay, got increased by 0.001. I don't know how much that is. Killing Blow cast range increase. Alright, this is not... I love playing Shiv. He's like the coolest character ever. That's not true. He's very fun. His rage feels terrible right now. It takes so long to build up on anything that's not a hero. The building it and keeping it between camps and fights is really interesting mechanic. And building it up on a camp before you initiate a fight is really interesting kind of macro, but building it up on camps right now feels terrible. So I wish they would have changed that, but I'll play him. We'll see. I mean, this is all early game buffs to him. He's basically no different late game, but he could be strong. It's just rage is kind of annoying to deal with. Vindicta, Crow Familiar change from 0.2 second cast delay to 0.2 post cast time. Okay, so she still takes the 0.2 seconds, but it happens after. Okay. Now reduces spear resistance by 6%. Okay, that's a buff. Tier 3 change from instead of bleeding and minus 30%, 40% anti-heal to minus 12% spirit and bullet resistance. Okay, so no longer bleeds, but no longer gives the anti-heal. Seems okay. Stake, this is her lash ability, kind of. Radius increased from 8 to 9 meters. Okay, Stake now sucks enemies 3 meters towards the center and limits movement 6 meters from the center. I don't love that. Tier 1 change from plus 0.5 seconds to minus 40% fire rate. Okay. Tier 3 change from disarm to plus 0.75 seconds. Okay, it's nice not getting disarmed by it anymore, but that wasn't really ever a problem. Assassinate minimum charge up increased from 25% to 50%. Okay, so it takes her longer to shoot it, which is excellent. She should not be able to shoot it as fast as she can. That's like, if that's what they want the ability to be, and that's like what makes it cool and interesting, cool. But personally, I don't think that's the fantasy I want to see in a sniper. The quick scoping thing is just not the sniper fantasy I want to see from a sniper character, personally. If that assassinate bonus damage on low HP base damage reduced. Okay, so it's just going to do less damage overall. And then they fix it being stuck if you zoom in and get silenced, which is great. She's really obnoxious if she gets ahead early. I don't know how strong she is right now in high level play. So we'll see. The buffs to Familiar and Stake, but nerfs to Assassinate is kind of what I want to see. I just think too much of her powers in her Assassinate ability. Okay, Viscous. Puddle Punch can now be parried. Does not stun Viscous, only blocks the puddle effect. That is really cool. Okay, so I'm gonna play a lot of Viscous. I hope my friend doesn't want to play him, because I'm being a Viscous main again. Orden. Fire rate, spirit scaling reduced. Okay, his gun is so obnoxious early. Alchemical Flask now respects line of sight, as it should. Last stand cooldown increased by 2 seconds. Damn, they got us again. Unplayable character. Orden. Last stand resistance during channel increased from 50% to 60%. Okay, that's fine. Basically, overall, a nerf for him. The last stand thing is nice, but the fire rate scaling will be really nice. He's not hitting you with the beanbag gun so much, and then the LOS on the flask is excellent. Everything should respect. Very few abilities should be able to go through walls, and it should be like it should be obvious, or there's no reason the flask should go through walls. It doesn't make sense. Wraith, full auto tier 2, no longer has spirit scaling. Moved to tier 3, so she's going to take a little longer to get online, which is nice. Tier 3 also had spirit scaling. Telekinesis can now cause the target to oscillate up and down a little bit. Yes, that's cool. It's probably not that much, but at least it doesn't give her free headshots. So, cool. Yamato, she's extremely good right now. Improved cases where Power Slash would hit enemies behind cover. Great. Shadow Transformation no longer heals on cast. Tier 3 increases the duration from 2 seconds to 3 seconds. Shadow Transformation now heals 15% of your max HP and hero kill. Okay. Big nerf for Yamato, but interesting change. I like it. I'm interested to see how it's gonna go. So overall, huge fan of the patch notes. We'll see that the spirit scaling was kind of my biggest thing. I'm interested to play with the earn changes this weekend. A lot of good character changes. I'm super excited to play Viscous with these new items. Yeah. So, this is the first time I've done a video like this. I know these patches happen a lot, but I like when my patches are in an audio format where I can sit at work and listen to them when I go to play the game. So if you made it to the end or you like this kind of content, let me know. I'm happy to keep making it. But good luck out there. Let me know what you guys think of the changes. Have a good one.